Good morning, students. Today we will start with 5th chapter of Hornbill, The Ailing Planet, The Green Movement's Road by Nani Palkiwala. See, the author Nani Palkiwala, he was an eminent jurist and economist. The Ailing Planet, The Green Movement's Road. This article was written by Nani Palkiwala and published in the Indian Express on 24th November 1994. Roughly it might be 26 years back. This article, it raises vital issues regarding the declining health of the earth and the immediate need to promote sustainable development, which has become the burning issue of the day. The topic the author had discussed in 1994. It continues to have relevance even today. Even today we are facing the global warming and many other problems regarding environment. We all know the deteriorating condition of the earth. This concern is more prominent these days. The ailing planet. What does ailing mean? Ailing means sick. And now the author says, this planet is no more, the earth, this planet is no more a pleasant for inhabitants. And now the green movement is only the hope for the planet and survival of human race. We human beings are responsible for gradual deterioration of our environment. Now see these expressions, these are some of the expressions are given, 8 to 9, that it is displayed on the cover page. You can see it, you can see the meaning of these words. Now let us start with the chapter. The following article was written by Nani Palkiwala and published in the Indian Express. I have already told you, declining is deteriorating, health of the earth continue to have relevance even today. Even today it can be seen. One cannot recall any movement in world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the green movement, which started nearly 25 years ago. In 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand. Since then, the movement has not looked back. What is Green Movement's Road? See, it is a mass campaign. It is a mass campaign, and this movement is the only hope for this planet and survival of human race. And this movement, it started in New Zealand and it has made the people aware that the earth is a living organism. As the living organism have there some certain needs, so the earth also, so the planet also, it had certain needs and we should fulfill it. And Nani Palkiwala, in this para, he is introducing the green movement road. What is green movement? This movement started in New Zealand in 1972, and this was the first effort made to save earth and realize that earth's condition, earth's health is deteriorating. This movement, green movement means, green movement was a very strong step. It was a very strong step to save earth, and never ever this type of movement was introduced. And all human being and all human race was engaged, was involved. This movement progressed and never looked back. In 1972, nationwide Green Party was established. Now second para, let us start with the second para. We have shifted one hopes irrevocably from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view of the world. Now, irrevocably means in a way that cannot be changed. In a way that cannot be changed, not able to be changed. So, it is a shift in human perceptions as revolutionary. What is revolutionary? Challenging. As that introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the Earth and the other planets revolve around the Sun. For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the Earth itself is a living organism. And enormous is huge, big in size, being of which we are parts. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved. Now, second para, the author, he says he's talking about a shift. That shift, what is shift here? What shift here refers to? Author says that we should not see Earth with mechanical view, but we should treat it in a holistic and ecological view. We should see it in a holistic and ecological view. Means we should not treat Earth as a machine. We should treat it as a living being. And as to save living being, we need to fulfill certain requirements. So for the Earth also, to save Earth, we need to fulfill certain requirements. There is a growing awareness that the Earth itself is a living organism. And this was introduced by this movement, Green Movement role. It has its own metabolic needs and essential processes. This change is just because of the Green Movement. Only the Green Movement is responsible for making people aware about the Earth. That it also has certain needs. It also has certain requirements as the human beings have. So, it is must to fulfill it. And there is revolutionary, means change. There's a change in humans' understanding also. After after introducing this movement, there is a change, complete change in humans' understanding also. What change? What change are we talking about? We are talking about, the author is talking about the change that through this movement, people, they have become aware that Earth is also a living organism and it has its own metabolic needs and essential process. And this revolution is compared to the revolution as Copernicus. See, Copernicus, he was a scientist. And this revolution of green movement is compared to the revolution of Copernicus. What did Copernicus say? Who told mankind in 16th century that Earth and the other planets, they revolved around the sun. He was the one who taught the mankind that in 16th century that the Earth and the other planets, they revolve around the sun. And for the first time in human history, there's a growing worldwide consciousness. What consciousness? This, that Earth also has it is a living organism and it is enormous in size. It is enormous being. It is a huge in size and we human beings are part of it. It has its own metabolic needs. What is metabolic needs? See, metabolic needs of living organisms that enables them to have a chemical process that causes food to be used for growth and energy. Means they also had metabolic needs and vital processes. And vital is important, which need to be respected and preserved. And whatever the needs the earth has, whatever the needs the earth has, we must fulfill it. We should respect to it and we should preserve our earth by fulfilling its need. The earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations. What is ethical obligations? Moral duties. The earth's vital signs. Up now, vital is important. Reveal means to show a patient in declining earth. Now we can see that the sign, the important sign, what does it show? It shows that earth has become a patient. Its health is declining. Its health is deteriorating. दिन पे दिन इसकी health है खराब होती जा रही है. And who is responsible? We human beings are responsible. We have begun to realize our ethical obligation to be good stewards of the planet and responsible trustee of the legacy to future generation. Now, the author says, what is stewards? See, stewards is one who manages to look after something. Stewards is one caretaker, sort of caretaker, देखभाल करना. Ethical obligation is moral duty. And earth, what does the earth sign, vital sign shows? It shows that the earth is becoming patient. Its health is declining. And because of this movement, we human beings have started realizing our moral duty to be a good caretaker of this planet Earth. Because of this movement, the people, they have become aware about and they have started realizing their moral duty towards the earth and to be the good caretaker of the earth and responsible trustee of the legacy to future generations. Means now the author says that we are realizing we have ethical obligation. This is our moral duty. We should protect our earth. We should be a good caretaker. It is our duty to protect and save earth. And like trustee, we should save earth for the future generation. So the future generation, they can also, and we have to give a good legacy to the future generation. Okay. The concept of sustainable development. Now, what is sustainable development? Sustainable development means economic development without depletion of natural resources. Means wise use of resources of the earth. To use resources in a wise way so that the future generation can also use it. जिस अर्थ के रिसोर्सेज हैं उसको इतना वाइजली हम यूज करें जिससे कि the future generation, they can also use it. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. Sustainable development, it was popularized in the year 1987. And who popularized, who was responsible for this? This was by the World Commission on Environment and Development. In this report, the idea is development that meets the needs of the present without, see, this is sustainable development. What does sustainable development? The author has given this. It means that development that meets the needs of the present. Fulfill the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs, without stripping the natural. Stripping is destroying, without destroying the natural world of resources future generation would need. Means we should use the resources of the earth in such a wise way that without wasting, it should be left for the future generation. And we have to give a good legacy to the future generation. Next para. In the zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads. Now, there's a zoo that is very famous in Zambia, zoo at Lusaka, Zambia. There's a cage. There's one cage where the notice reads, and one notice is displayed there. This is a very important question. See, what is sustainable development? And this Lusaka, this zoo, Zambia, zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, this para is also very important. There is a cage where the notice reads, and there is a notice displayed. The world's most dangerous animal. Inside the cage, there is no animal, but a mirror where you see yourself. Thanks to the awareness has now dawned upon the most dangerous animal in the world. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. Now, the author is talking about the zoo in Zambia. He says there is a notice displayed, one who visits zoo, and there is no animal in that cage. One who visits zoo, human being can see his or her reflection. And they want to tell, the author, he wants to tell that the human beings are the most dangerous animals because human beings are exploiting earth. Means that zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage, notice is displayed, and there is a mirror and no animal. The one who visits that zoo can see his or her reflection. Means the most dangerous animal is human being. Human beings are responsible. They are the world's most dangerous animals because they are exploiting earth. Because of these human beings, the earth's condition is deteriorating day by day. Human beings are the most dangerous to the environment. They cause more destruction to the environment than any other species. Dawn is to begin. And now, world's agencies, they have put the efforts to realize human beings as the most dangerous animal in the world. And human beings, domination. What is domination? Means to dominate. Partnership is equal. Everyone is equal. Now human beings have realized, they've started realizing that they don't need to dominate on the earth, but they should work in partnership. Wisely, how can they do this? By using natural resources wisely. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. Now, scientists have catalogued they have made the list. There's a list that scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. 1.4 living species are there and who share the earth with mankind. Estimates vary widely as regards to still uncatalogued living species. Biologists reckon is estimate that about 3 to 100 million other species still languishes reduced, unnamed in ignominious darkness. Now, see, catalogued is list, languishes, to be forced to remain in an unpleasant place or situation, and ignominious darkness means deserving or causing public disgrace or shame. Now the scientists and now the author says that the scientists, they have a catalogue, they have listed 1.4 million living species with which mankind is sharing this earth. And estimates vary widely the regard still, and many are unlisted. They are not known. They are nowhere in the list. Biologists reckon, they have made the estimate that about 3 to 100 million other living species still languish. They are not in the notice, they are not in the list. Unnamed, गुमनाम है, जिनका पता ही नहीं है. In ignominious darkness means some are listed species, that is 1.4 billion, some are unlisted, and scientists assume it to be 3 to 400 million not discovered. Abhi wo gumnaam hai. So we have to share this earth with species, other species which are listed and non-listed. One of the early international commissions which dealt inter alia. Inter alia is, among other things, now he says, with the question of ecology and environment was branded commission. It was branded commission, branded inter alia questions ecology and environment commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its members, Mr. L.K. Jha. The first branded report raised questions. Are we to leave our successor a scorched planet of advancing desert, impoverished landscapes, and ailing environment? Ab now, International Commission, named Branded Commission, and the member is a well-known Indian named L.K. Jha. This International Commission, it named Branded Commission, and it deals with ecology. And one Indian member, Mr. L.K. Jha, he raised the question. This report, he raised the question. What question? That are we going to leave for the future generation? This scorched means burned. Impoverished is poor. Ailing is poor. It raised the question that for the future generation, will we leave the burned, barren land for the future generation? Are we going to leave this barren, burned earth for the future generation? Mr. Lester R. Brown, in his thoughtful book, The Global Economic Prospect, points out that the Earth's principal biological systems are 4. Now, Mr. Lester, author, tells about the thoughtful book. These all things, these 4 biological systems, they are the backbone of the economy. He says that fisheries, forests, grassland, and croplands, and they form the foundation of the global economic system. In addition to supplying our food, these 4 systems provide virtually all the raw materials for the industry except minerals and petroleum derived synthetics. Now, Mr. Lester, author, tells about the thoughtful book, and he says these 4 biological systems, they are the backbone of economy. He is making us aware about not exploiting the earth, to stop exploiting the earth. And he says that, see, they are the backbone of economy. In addition to supplying our food, these are 4 systems. See, they all provide raw material for industry except minerals, and only minerals and petroleums are not provided by them, derived synthetics. In large areas of the world, human claims on these systems are reaching an unsustainable level. Unsustainable level means they are being manipulated, they are being unsustainable, they are not supported, they are not being supported, they are being finished off. A point where their productivity is being impaired. Impaired is harmed. उनकी जो productivity है, process है, that is being impaired. How it is being impaired? How it is being harmed? When this happens? Because human beings, we are selfish. We are using them. How? When this happens, fisheries collapse, forests disappear, grasslands are converted into barren wastelands, and croplands deteriorate. This all happens when the human beings, we selfish human beings, don't take care of the earth. In a protein conscious and protein hungry world, overfishing is common every day. See, fish is a prominent source of protein. People, they have become protein conscious. So what they are doing? They do fishing. And in this way, it is being impaired. In poor countries, local forests are being decimated. Decimated is destroyed in poor countries. Why poor countries? Because they don't have any other source for fire and all that. So they use wood as the source of fire. So in poor countries, local forests are being decimated in order to procure firewood for cooking. Procure is to get. For firewood, for cooking, they use this wood. In some places, firewood has become so expensive that what goes under the pot now costs more than what goes inside it. Now, it says, in many places, wood is so costly. Because why? As the number of forests are decreasing, so wood price has raised to peak. The wood price has raised to peak. So the author says, the food cooked value is less than fuel. Means what goes under the pot is more costly, means the wood which they are using for firewood costs more than the food cooked in the pot. Food cooked value in the pot is less than the fuel. So this is all because for four systems, these are being impaired. So fisheries will finish, grasslands will become barren, and croplands will also be destroyed. Since the tropical forest is, in the words of Dr. Myers, the powerhouse of evolution, several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. Now, Mr. Myers, he says that tropical forest is the powerhouse of evolution because maximum number of species exist here. And it is a powerhouse of evolution due to which several species of life exist here. And because of the destruction of this, several species, they are facing extinction because of the destruction of tropical forest. Dr. Meyer says tropical forest, they are the maximum number of species exist in tropical forest. And because of this, selfish human beings, these species, they are facing extinction because of this destruction of the tropical forest. It has been well said that forests precede mankind's, deserts follow. Deserts follow. The words ancient patronymy of tropical forest is now eroding at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres of a year, and the growing use of dung of burning deprives the soil of an important natural fertilizers. The World Bank estimates that a five-fold increase in the rate of forest planting is needed to cope up with the expected fuel wood demand in the year 2000. Now see, the author says, before mankind, before coming of human, forests were there. Before mankind, forest came. After mankind, desert. Because the human beings, they destroyed the forest, and because of the destruction of the forest, Mankind, after mankind, desert. He wants to say, what basically the author wants to say? He wants to say that we human beings are converting forests into desert, barren land. We are cutting the forest. And because of this, they are converting forest into desert or barren land. See, patronymy is inheritance from father, inheritance from father. And now it has been well said that the forests precede mankind. Before coming of human beings, forests were there. And if once forest destroys, then there will be desert. So obviously, before coming human beings, forests were there. After coming human beings, desert. But there. Why? Because he wants to say that we human beings are responsible for converting the forests into deserts. The world's ancient patronymy of tropical forests is now eroding at the rate of patronymy, heredity, whatever we are getting from the inheritance. These tropical forests, they are being destroyed because of us. Eroding is reducing at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year. Tropical forests are eroding, they are reducing, they are destroying at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year. As we have read in the previous para about the tropical forests, that maximum number of the species exists. So, if the tropical forests, they are being destroyed, they are being finished off, obviously, the species of several species of life, they are also facing extinction because of the destruction of these tropical forests. And the growing use of dung for burning deprives the soil of an important natural fertilizer. See, everybody knows that cow dung is used as a fuel, due to which we are losing natural fertilizer. Cow dung is a very good fertilizer, but nowadays, as cow dung, it is used as a fuel, due to which we are losing natural fertilizer. So, animal based का जो use का जो ये cow dung है, that is a very good fertilizer, but we are not using it. We are using it as a fuel. Cow dung for burning deprives the soil of an important. The World Bank estimates that the five-fold increase in the rate of forest planting is needed to cope up with the expected firewood demanded. And now see, he's talking about 2000. He says in 1994, the World Bank estimates, it had estimated, now we are in 2020. And this article, it was written in 1994. At that time, the World Bank, it estimated that five-fold increase in the rate of forest is needed, 5 times more, to cope up with the expected fuel wood demand in 2000. James Pett, the president of the World Resources Institute, said the other day, we are saying that we are losing the forest at an acre a second. Now the president of World Resources Institute, he said that we are saying that we are losing this forest. We are losing the forest at an acre a second, 1 acre in a second. But our assumption is wrong. It is more than that. We are losing an acre and a half, 1.5 acre in a second. We are losing the forest. They are assuming the loss of the forest, 1.5 acre in a second. Article 48A of the Constitution. Now the world estimated the forest planting 5-fold times. In this para, the author says, the world estimated that the forest planting needs 5-fold increase, 5 times increase is needed. Then only Then only we will be able to fulfill the fuel wood needed in 2000. But have we done this? I don't think. No, nobody has followed it. Now, the James Smith, the president of World Resources Institute, said the other day, we were saying that we are losing the forest. This we have done. Article 48A of Constitution of India provides that the state shall endeavor is to try to protect and improve the environment to safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. Now, the 48A article, and it says that what does it say? The Constitution of India provides that the state shall endeavor, it should try to protect and improve the environment and safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. That we should try to save the wildlife, forest and wildlife of the country. But what causes endless anguish is the fact that law are never respected nor enforced in India. See, 48A, government should try, and the author says, see, never, this is the main suffering. But what causes endless suffering? Why is this suffering being faced? Because here, laws are never respected nor enforced in India. They are never, in India, no doubt, laws are made, but they are never respected and not implemented. For instance, the Constitution says that casteism, untouchability and bonded labor shall be abolished. See, it is given in Constitution that there should not be the caste system, untouchability and bonded labor. They should be abolished, they should be finished. But no, till the date we can see, but they have flourished shamelessly even after 40 years of the operation of the Constitution. Even they are not finished off, but in spite of abolishing, they are increasing. A recent report of our Parliament's Estimates Committee has highlighted the near catastrophic depletion, means destruction, of India's forests over the last 4 decades. According to reliable data, is losing its forests at a rate of 3.7 million acres a year. Large areas officially designated as forest land are already virtually treeless. The actual loss of forest is estimated to be about 8 times the rate indicated by the government status. See, the author wants to say, whatever the government gives the estimate, whatever the estimate government gives, the government never shows the actual loss. Actual loss is never shown. He says the actual loss of the forest is 8 times more than the data given by the government. Officially designated as forest land. A 3-year study using satellites and aerial photography conducted by the United States nations warns that the environment has deteriorated so badly that it is critical in many of the 88 countries investigated. The 3-year study, he says that the 3-year study using, author says that while using satellites and aerialists of the photography they have conducted the satellites and the aerial photography by the United States, and warns that the environment has deteriorated so badly. And there was a warning while this photography, satellites and aerial photography, it was conducted by United States, and the warning was there. They warned that environment, it has deteriorated so badly that it is critical. Its condition has become critical in many of the 88 countries investigated. They investigated many countries and they had come to know that the critical condition of 88 countries. There can be no doubt that the growth of the world population is one of the strongest factors distorting the future of human human society. Now, the author says, what is the main cause? What is the main cause of all this? He says, the main cause is population. That the world population is the strongest factor in destroying the future of the society. He says the world population is the main cause of all this. It took mankind more than 1,000,000 years to reach the first billion. He says it took mankind more than 1,000,000 years to reach. It took 1,000,000 years to reach first billion. That was the first world population, and this is in 1800. By the year 1900, second billion was added, and the 20th century has added another 3.7 billion. Now see the increase in the population. It has reached to such an extension. Now, fertility falls as incomes rise. Now the author says, education spreads and health improves. As the control of population is done, the incomes rise and education spreads and health also improves, because people become aware. This development is the best contraceptive, and the author says development is the best contraceptive to control the birth. To control birth control, this is development is the best contraceptive. What is contraceptive is birth control method. So where development is there, where there fertility falls, incomes rise, education spreads and health improves. जहाँ पे development होगी, development is the best control, birth control method. Wherever the development is there, the people they become aware, and fertility falls as incomes rise, education spreads and health improves. But development itself may not be possible if the present increase in numbers continues. See, author says, if the population it keeps on increasing, then development is not possible. So, for the development, population control is must. The rich get richer and poor beget children, which condemns them to remain poor. And the rich people, they become more rich, and the poor begeters, they give birth to more children, and which condemns them to remain poor, which is the main reason. They give birth to more children, thinking that more hands, more income, but this is not true. It doesn't mean more hands does not mean more income. So, but the poor people, they had somewhere they had in their mind that if they produce more children, they'll get more hands to work and they can earn more. More children does not mean more workers, merely more people without work. It is not suggested that human beings be treated like cattle, and it is not suggested human beings be treated like cattle and compulsorily sterilized. And the author says it is not suggested, suggestion is that it is not the suggestion is not that the human beings, they are treated like cattle and are made unfit for producing more children. But there is no alternative to voluntary family planning without introducing an element of coercion. Coercion is use of force. But there is no alternative to voluntary. If voluntary is willingness. If they are not ready for the voluntary willingness planning without introducing element, Force should be avoided. For making them unfit for the production, it should be from their willingness only. The choice is really between control of population and perpetuation of poverty, and the choice is left with the human beings. Whether perpetuation is to continue, whether they want to continue the poverty, or they are ready to control the birth. The population of India is estimated to be 920 million today. Today, he's talking about 1954, isn't it? When did he write this article? He's talking of that time, 1972. He had written this article in 1972, and he's talking about of year 1972, that at that time the population was estimated to be 920 million. More than the entire population of Africa and South America put together. And that population was more than if we put this population of Africa and South America, it was more than these two countries. No one familiar with the conditions in India would doubt that the hope of people would die in their hungry hutments unless population control is given topmost priority. Now, the author says, development is not possible if population increases. If population growth is controlled, income and education of people increases. In uncontrolled population growth, the rich get richer and poor poorer. Family planning needs to be forced. It does not need to be forced on people. It should be voluntary. And he says that if it is not going to happen, if the birth control is not going to be done, then the hutments, the settlement in the hut means poor people, they are going to die with hunger. For the first time in human history, we see a transcending concern. Transcending concern means increasing interest. The survival not just of people, but to the planet. And he says now the increasing interest can be seen. A concern, what is transcending? A concern that existed for a very long time means increasing interest. And concern is not that. It's not survival for humans, but of planet. If planet will survive, obviously then only it will be possible for human beings to survive. So our basis of existence is Earth. If we will have to look for holistic view. Holistic view is the 4 factors we have seen, fisheries and all those. So we need to see the holistic views. The environment problem does not necessarily signal our demise. Demise is death, end. It is not that. If the environment problem is there, so we are going to end. It is the end. It is our passport for future. Passport for future means we are passing it to the coming generation, to the future generation. The future generation is going to face the same problem, environmental problem. The emerging new worldwide vision has ushered in the era of responsibility. It is a holistic view, an ecological view, seeing the world as an integrated whole rather than a dissociated collection of parts. Means everybody will have to work together for saving this Earth planet. Industry has a most crucial role to play in the new era of responsibility. And the author says, industry, it is the most crucial, it plays a most crucial role in this new era of responsibility. So, industry plays a crucial role for this responsibility because we need the resources for the industries And what a transformation would be effected if more businessmen shared the view of the chairman of DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Woolard, who 5 years ago declared himself to be the company's chief environmental officer. Now DuPont, he declared himself to be the company's chief environmental officer. He said our continued existence as a leading manufacturer requires that we excel in an environmental performance. Means we should show our excellence in environmental performance. We should save the resources of the earth. Of all the statements made by Margaret Thatcher during the years of her prime ministership, none has passed so decisively into the current coin of English usage as her felicitous words. Means congratulated, जैसे बधाई पात होता है. What did she say? No generation has a free hold on this earth. And she has said, we don't have permanent ownership on this earth. Nobody is permanent on this earth. Nobody has permanent ownership on this earth. All we have a life tenancy. We are not permanent. We are just like tenants on this earth. Tenancy with a full repairing lease. Repairing lease is we are tenant and our lease is to keep earth safe, repair, to keep whatever the outcomes you see, you should do repairing of those outcomings, and we should save our earth, and we are the tenant and we have to leave this earth, this planet for the future generation. In words of Mr. Lester Brown, we have not inherited this earth. He says that we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers. We have borrowed it from our children. Now we have borrowed it. One should think that we have borrowed this earth, planet from our children, and it is our responsibility that we should save earth. We should use each and everything of earth in a very wise way. So we have come to this is the end of the chapter, and if you face any sort of problem, then please clear your doubts. Tomorrow I'll be sending you the question answers of this chapter. Thank you.